Throughout human history, the brain has always been a great mystery. While early humans gazed at the stars trying to decipher the secrets of the heavens, they remained almost completely unaware of the universe within their own heads. This complex organ we carry inside us was, for centuries, both a source of fascination and profound ignorance. Even when its existence was acknowledged, it was often considered a mere filler, with life and thought presumed to originate elsewhere. The earliest clues date back thousands of years. Around 4000 BCE, Sumerians of Mesopotamia observed how substances like poppy plants could alter consciousness. However, they did not associate these effects with the brain. To them, the soul was a gift from the gods or the stars, and the brain was merely a container, a passive vessel. Centuries passed. By 2500 BCE, trepanation practices had emerged. People drilled holes into skulls to cure mental illnesses, relieve pressure, or allow evil spirits to escape. To modern eyes, such methods seemed terrifying. But at the time, they represented hope. A small hole in the skull could save a life or bring peace to a troubled mind. Perhaps this was humanity's first primitive attempt to unlock the subconscious. In ancient Egypt, brain research became slightly more systematic. By 1700 BCE, the Edwin Smith Papyrus recorded detailed observations of head injuries. Egyptian physicians noticed that damage to the head could cause paralysis, speech loss, and other neurological symptoms. This provided one of the earliest scientific hints that the brain controlled bodily functions, yet the heart was still seen as the seat of the soul, and during mummification, the brain was often discarded as useless. At the same time in Greece, a new age was dawning. By 450 BCE, Greek physicians began studying human anatomy. They explored different parts of the body, but still struggled to fully understand the brain's role. In 387 BCE, the philosopher Plato proposed that the brain was the seat of mental processes. For his time, this was a revolutionary idea, associating thoughts and the soul with the brain itself. However, this progress was short-lived. Plato's student Aristotle argued otherwise. In 335 BCE, Aristotle claimed that the heart was the center of thought and that the brain served merely to cool the blood. His authority was so immense that this misconception dominated science for centuries, pushing the brain back into obscurity. During the Roman Empire, around 170 CE, the physician Galen stepped forward. Through dissections of animals, he demonstrated that the brain was related to movement and sensation. He meticulously recorded his observations and proposed that different parts of the brain had different functions. Galen's ideas became dogma throughout the Middle Ages, serving as the medical compass for centuries. The Renaissance reignited Europe's hunger for knowledge. In 1543, Andreas Vesalius published groundbreaking work on human anatomy. Vesalius corrected many of Galen's mistakes and presented a clearer view of the human body, including the brain. The brain could now be studied in greater detail, but its internal mysteries, thoughts, emotions, consciousness remained elusive. In the 17th century, the philosopher Descartes entered the stage. In 1649, Descartes argued that mind and body were separate entities. The body belonged to the material world, while the mind was immaterial. The pineal gland, he claimed, was the interface between the two. Although more philosophical than scientific, Descartes' ideas encouraged a deeper investigation into the relationship between the brain and consciousness. In 1664, Oxford physician Thomas Willis published detailed studies of brain anatomy and function. Willis proposed that different parts of the brain were responsible for different tasks. He began analyzing the brain in sections, laying the groundwork for modern neurology. Willis was also the first to use the term neurology. In the 18th century, Franz Anton Mesmer introduced the idea of an invisible magnetic fluid affecting human health. His theories in 1774 would eventually lead to the development of hypnosis. People began to imagine the mind as something that could be influenced by unseen forces. In 1791, Luigi Galvani performed experiments with frog legs, demonstrating that muscle movement could be triggered by electrical currents. Galvani's discoveries showed that the nervous system conducted electricity, introducing a new way to understand the brain. In 1848, a famous accident revolutionized brain science. Phineas Gage, a railroad worker, survived a massive brain injury caused by an iron rod. Though he lived, his personality changed dramatically. This incident offered compelling evidence that different brain regions were responsible for different aspects of behavior and identity. In 1849, German scientist Emile Du Bois-Reymond succeeded in measuring electrical currents in nerves. His experiments laid the foundation for modern neurophysiology and opened new paths in understanding how the brain operates. Around the same time, scientists began to use animals, particularly rats, in brain research. Due to the structural and functional similarities to humans, rats became vital models in neuroscience. Studies on rat brains revealed much about learning, memory, and behavior, discoveries that continue to influence modern science. Over the centuries, the journey to understand the brain has been intertwined with humanity's quest to understand itself. At first, mental processes were attributed to supernatural forces. Over time, they became subjects of scientific inquiry. The brain evolved from being seen as a passive organ to being recognized as the source of thoughts, emotions, and identity. Today, advanced brain imaging techniques allow us to peer into the deepest folds of this enigmatic organ. Yet even now, there is so much we do not know. We have not fully unraveled what consciousness truly is, how thoughts are born, or how emotions emerge. As humans continue to explore the universe within their skulls, they face an even greater question. Does the brain make us who we are, or do we shape our own brains through experience? And this grand question ensures that the exploration of the brain will continue for many centuries to come.